This video should have been ready and uploaded in the very beginning of January because it bears the title of December Q&A. The questions you're about to hear, and of course their answers, are still selected from December. They come from various sources, mainly from YouTube, but also from my social network accounts. And do not worry, all the personal messages that you are sending me containing questions are still personal. If I plan to use the question because I've liked it and because I think many people would have asked it and the answer would benefit more viewers and listeners, I would definitely personally ask you before publishing the question in such a video. Shall we begin? The first question I've selected comes from Facebook and Mike Smith. I finished the story of SWTOR and did not start the Raven line nor the Knights of the Fallen Empire, but my question is how or where can I get better gear for Jedi Telekinetic Sage, DPS spec? Should I do heroics or group flashpoints, or where to start to search the gear for that? The answer would begin with don't care about gear, or at least don't call it endgame gear, until you're level 65. I would assume you are 65, but you just haven't finished the story, which is very popular and very common, and you absolutely don't need to do the story. So, for level 65, what you need to do is stop caring about what gear you currently have and start signing up for story mode operations. Pugs, or if you have a guild, join your guild's run. If you don't have a guild, you might actually look for one. That's not a bad suggestion. In about 90 or maybe higher % of the time, of the cases, guild runs would yield much better result, and guild members take care of each other. Remember that they don't just need and greed on anything just because if nothing else is useful, then at least they can sell that to a vendor because they don't care about the pugs. In guild runs, things are much better and you actually may get a lot quicker gear, the specific gear you need. If that question was actually aimed for a lower level, because if you don't do Fallen Empire or Shadow of Raven, you would actually be sitting at level 55. Level 55 allows you to do operations and you will be bolstered. Don't care about gear, there is no endgame gear at level 55. I've been thinking for a long time now about making a special dedicated video with tips and suggestions on gearing up, casual or not so casual, as a completely new player. It's much easier and it's completely different kind of a tale when you have a number of odds behind you and they have all farmed credits, tokens, reputation and everything else that would easily support your newly freshly created level, whatever it is, ready to do endgame. Also, I would definitely suggest not just Mike and everybody else who's new to the game, don't start operations at lower level. I know that the group finder allows it, but that's a huge mistake. Within a guild run, you can bear with, I don't know, 1, 2, 5, 8 lower levels. That depends on the experience of the 8 players within the team and how many times they have cleared the same operation content previously. If you collect a pug with 2, 3, 5 people that are below level 65 or God forbid below level 60, you're going to suffer a lot and it is very likely that you will wipe on the very first boss. Well, that of course depends on the operation you're starting. The next question is from Twitch and about Twitch. It comes from Tatsumasa GC. Hey Vulkk, I've been following you on Twitch and YouTube for a while and I was wondering if you had any advice for starting my own live stream for SWTOR. See, this is the way to ask properly about live streaming tips and ideas. You follow the person, you take care, you visit them once or twice. This shows that you care about the person, and now this person, in this case it's me, will very gladly share an advice. Obviously I've written something to him in a response a long time ago because this question is, as a matter of fact, from the first days of December, I believe. But I will, in fact, read you word for word the answer that I've posted. Hi Tatsumasa GS. My apologies about misreading the name. Obviously, I'm horrible with names, you know that. A few simple suggestions from personal experience would be: have a simple name that people can use to call you, not especially your Twitch account name, but something people would know and they would remember you with. Use OBS for streaming and have decent video and sound quality. Strangers jumping from stream to stream would not know that you are that awesome person and player. If your SWTOR is all too pixelated, they would just leave very quick. Stream for longer than 2 hours, and if possible, give chance to more viewers to stop by. Use social networks a lot, but don't spam people, it's annoying. Most importantly, play the parts of the game you enjoy most and you're good with. Doing random things you're not prepared to explain and walk viewers through is dangerous, and especially if you're new to streaming. People often visit streams to ask a question or learn more about the game you play. You need to be able to answer that. Good luck. I believe this answer should be kind of a generic, and it should probably apply to pretty much every new streamer, not just for SWTOR, but anything. When I mentioned parts of SWTOR, obviously it's an MMO, and here I meant that you can do PvE, PvP, leveling, endgame, not endgame, casual, roleplay, and I don't know, the list could probably keep growing. But these are, I would consider, the most important and major things you could do in an MMO. Question from YouTube and George Macro. It's a general question, but because he was the first to ask in December, I decided to put it here as a Q&A part of this video. Would that run faster is the title of the question that I've listed here in my script. Obviously, it's meant to be a question about PC configuration and system. Whatever I suggest, whatever someone else suggests to you, whatever people tell you that they have, the game doesn't run smooth. It doesn't matter if you're going to spend $1,000 on a PC. That of course doesn't include a monitor. Please be aware of that. And you can spend $2,000, $5,000. Well, I believe with $5,000 you might be able to finally run the game relatively smooth with only a few jumps of the FPS counter. Within the basic and reasonable limits for real life credits or dollars, euros, whatever else your currency is, there is nothing much you can do. My configuration is quite powerful. Yes, my CPU is not the latest generation, but the CPU does not play such a huge role for Star Wars: The Old Republic. I know many people claim it does. Yes, it does, but to a certain extent. You cannot compare dual core Pentium from, I don't know, 6-7 years ago and an i5 or an i7. No, this is a stupid and I don't know, crazy comparison. You should compare, for example, let's see, my CPU, which is the 4000 generation, it's 4770K, unlocked obviously and overclocked, with the newest Skyline series. The performance increase you will see, because there will be a performance increase even in SWTOR, is definitely not going to cover the expenses, because you know the new processor is extremely expensive and it goes together with the new mainboard. It's very likely that this mainboard may cause you to change I don't know, your RAM, and God forbid, depending on the current configuration of your system, you may actually have to upgrade something else as well. For example, power supply. You never know what kind of a crappy power supply is hidden within your PC case from many years ago. Back to the main topic. Pretty much every PC will run the game, because I've not witnessed personally, but I've been told multiple times. Thank God I do have connections thanks to my social networks and especially the live streams and YouTube. People have been telling me that I can run the game on this piece of crap or on that piece of crap, and that's fantastic. However, the game would obviously look different from one piece of crap PC to another not piece of crap PC. If you don't know, I will share some personal experience from 1440p resolution on my monitor, and that's how I play the game, that's how I record the game and upload the videos. Most of my videos, some are actually 1080p, because I do live stream on 1080p. Downscaling from 1440p to 1080p is ridiculously unpleasant, to call it like that, because I don't want to get into deeper details. But anyway, my resolution is quite high, and here video card comes to play. The higher the resolution, the better video card you would require, and together with that, the more RAM on the GPU would be required. So if you're told that the GPU doesn't matter that much for the game, that is probably if you're playing the game on medium setting, 720p, or okay, to some extent with some very powerful PC configurations. You could maybe run on 1080p with high settings. The game will cough blood at moments, and rest assured about that, there is no way to avoid it. As a matter of fact, if you do some benchmarking, because for over 4 years I've done plenty on SWTOR, and I actually remembered specific areas, moments and places within the game that the engine really cannot perform decently and normally. A quick example off the top of my head would be third boss in Scum and Villainy. That is Thrasher, you know, the big ugly thing with 4 legs, roars and knocks back and things like that. The FPS there does drop every single time. It doesn't matter if you're doing 8-man, 16-man, or God forbid you may enter with 2 or 3 people, the FPS still drops. It doesn't always drop to the extent where it's unplayable. Obviously the drop is much bigger and unpleasant in 16-man versus 8-man. But there is still a drop and it's unexplainable. The only reason I can come up with is because it's a big open area, but it's not actually even that big. For example, the first big area, I don't know how to call it, I forget its name, on Rishi, I've made actually a special dedicated video. If I don't forget, I will link it as an annotation or YouTube card here somewhere. I made a special benchmark video on that very same area on Rishi. You know where all the vendors are, where the mailbox is. It's kind of the middle of the first map on the planet, just after you get out of the landing platform. There is also a huge FPS drop, because that's very high open area, but it's not that much wide as it is high. If you lift up your head, you will see that the buildings and the shadows and the bridges connecting those buildings go way too high compared to pretty much anything else, not just on Rishi, but everywhere in the game. I think that's enough for the moment on the topic about PCs. Don't trust whenever someone tells you that this is going to run the game smooth. It's not going to, especially in PvP and 16-man operation. No way. We move on to the next question, again from YouTube, and it comes from Joel. Hi there, has been any change to PvP since Shadow of Revan except for class balance? Well, unfortunately no, you've named the exact same only change, but BioWare made it multiple times since 3.0, which was released, correct me if I'm mistaken, the beginning of December last year. So that is the beginning of December, not the last, but the previous year. Okay, it was 9th of December 2014, if my memory serves me well. Since then, we have seen absolutely nothing in terms of real content for PvP, except for class balancing, in some cases serious nerfs, and completely destroying on BioWare's part the fun that players have in doing PvP with their favorite class. The other thing is that, of course, they've implemented a couple of new sets because of the expansions that went live. And now here comes the good news, because there is a new Warzone in development. In the last live stream, which happened on 14th of January, so about a week before the recording of this video, BioWare teased again. They didn't introduce it because we knew about its existence for quite some time now. They just teased again and promised to give us more details on a live producer stream in February. So far we only know that this is going to be most likely an 8 versus 8 man, but it's not confirmed. They're still testing this, and it's gonna be King of the Hill type of a PvP game. The other fact that we know for certain is, because they mentioned it, is that it's gonna be on Odessen. You know, that new planet that really isn't a planet, but just like a social hub, and we got nothing else out of it for the moment. Moving on, another YouTube question coming from Anthony Gillis. Vulkk, will you ever PvP again? And that question is probably related to the fact that I haven't uploaded the PvP video since, I believe, November 2015. That's about 3 months, plus minus a week or two. Yeah, I know it's a long time, but PvP has been getting laggier and laggier and boring. I have to admit, it's getting boring, yeah. I came to Star Wars The Old Republic as a true hardcore PvPer, but the PvP here, the PvP environment, not the community, no, I don't speak of the community, it's just the environment, somehow made me turn away from it. I'm a huge fan of roaming solo, a huge open world, but that doesn't mean I'm going to roam the planets where people are leveling. No, I need a special dedicated Ettenmoor style of a PvP map. Ettenmoor used to be, it still is, forgive me, the PvP open world map in Lord of the Rings Online, the MMO game I came from to Star Wars The Old Republic. In the end of the video, I would like to share a few concerns and a few general answers to general questions. First one would be regarding the level 60 tokens and subscriber versus free-to-play limits. For example, there was a question somewhere, unfortunately I could not remember because I didn't list it in the script. Who asked it? Can I keep my characters after my subscription expires? Do I lose levels? No. You don't lose your characters, you don't lose level, you don't lose gear. In some situations, you might lose the ability to use that gear, but it's very, very situational and very unlikely. I cannot exactly give you an example with this in mind because I've never been non-subscriber. You don't lose levels, your character may be blocked, because when you switch back from subscribed to non-subscribed, you get to preferred status. You will never again be considered free to play because it's the lowest of the 3 tiers. You're moved forever automatically to the second middle ground tier, which is preferred status. I advise every single player who ever asked me to pay the damn $5 to the cartel store, buy something, whatever it is, and switch to preferred status. The game is a lot better and less punishing, to call it honestly. Another general question is this a good time to return to the game? It's been more than 3 months since the last expansion landed, but content update and major patches in Star Wars The Old Republic don't happen as often as we'd like, so we still consider this to be the beginning of the expansion, especially because we haven't seen the first following the expansion big content update. It's scheduled to be in about 3 weeks, about the middle of 9th of February, I believe, or 10th of February with early access. So we're still considering this period right now at the time of the recording of the video to be soon after the expansion. And soon after the expansion or soon before a new expansion in any MMO, not just here in SWTOR, is the perfect time for new people to join, to join, or old veterans to return and give another go to the game. Many changes are coming with each new expansion of each game, and even though we wished for more and better changes, obviously nobody is ever happy, or I should say happy enough, and we follow that through here as well, the community in Star Wars The Old Republic. We always want more, obviously. That's not a bad thing. If you stop asking for more, then you're fed up with the game and it's time to move on. It is a good time to return, yes. The simple answer would be yes, it is a good time. Before wrapping up, I would like to share a few words because people have been concerned about my YouTube live streaming. Why did I switch to Twitch? Why did I not announce it? I haven't left Twitch. No, I'm still streaming to Twitch, just not as regularly as before. And I've moved my regular live streaming and the longer live show and events to YouTube. First reason, much better both audio and visual video quality. Second reason is it is on the same channel that I already own, and you know that YouTube is my main channel. I only started Twitch. I don't want to go back to that topic. I've explained that in the first Q&A video, I believe. And as well in my guest appearance on the second episode or third, I think it was the second episode of Passionately Casual podcast. I hope, guys, you are following and listening each one of their episodes. That's one of the best and newest Star Wars The Old Republic podcasts. And I'm really supporting them because they do a wonderful job and spend a lot of time preparing for each show. Anyway, That was the lyrical distraction. Back on topic, I have begun streaming regularly on YouTube. If you don't know the schedule, I don't really have one. That's why probably you don't know it. But I can promise you that I do everything I can in my power, unless like this week when I was feeling ill and my voice was cranky. I'm streaming Tuesday, Wednesday, and Sunday starting 19 GMT. This is kind of a prime time, early evening for Europe, well, most of Europe. For me, it's actually 21 p.m. And on the other days, that's SWTOR stream, of course. That's the days we're raiding with the guild. On the other days, it's if I can, if I have time, if I have something new to show. Sometimes it would be Star Wars The Old Republic, other times it would be The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt. There is an upcoming expansion to The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt, and I'm more than excited about it, because for the price of a half a game, we're going to receive the content worth of 2 games. And yes, I'm not really exaggerating, that's how much content for free we get from CD Projekt Red. I love that company. I'm amazed how they just... This company is really the only one that has ever made me feel like I want to give them more money. If you don't know how to receive notifications on YouTube when I'm doing live streams and when I'm publishing new videos, there is a very quick and simple guide that I've published on my website, and instead of just describing it here with words, I would just link it to you and forward you and invite you to visit it. It will take you like 30 seconds to set up the 2 clicks and 2 checks and start receiving those notifications. Keep in mind that YouTube Gaming, the live streaming platform from Google, is still very new and still in beta. They're doing an awesome update cycle and they're bringing it up to speed, and I'm really glad that finally I can show my favorite game, now it is my favorite games because there are 2 on my channel, in really high quality and with really good resolution and audio. This is the wrapping up of the 3rd Q&A video. This was the summary for December. I know it came late, but I'm glad that you actually lasted the whole duration of the video without cutting it. I can tell you, I'm breaking the 23rd minute right now. I don't think I will cut too much of it, but we'll see. And also my voice is still cranky. It is the new microphone that I'm using, but my voice is a little bit cranky because I'm still... I don't know if I should call it ill. It's not like I have high temperature fever or something, but I really don't feel well. And I don't need to tell you the details. It would not be fun to hear. Thank you guys for joining me for Q&A number 3. See you with the same episode next month, but I will very likely see you with something else, SWTOR or Witcher, on the very next day. Bye bye.